They're giving out tracks
Sorry?
Are these for distribution?
I've just been given this one, but
Yeah.
there is a lady handing them out, yes. Are you part of the conference, or are you just passing past?
No, I'm not. Which conference is this?
It's one of the AGMs for one of the mining companies.
Ah, okay. No, I'm not part of the. I'm
Cool,
just
no worries.
passing through.
It's great that you stopped to pick
I'm
a leaflet.
related to mining. That's why.
Excellent. Thank you.
Everyone get hats on. Please come over here in front of the ladder. What it is, yeah? We'll put it together with the try and make us look like a crowd.
Hello from central London. In the background of the picture at the moment, you'll see Big Ben at the Houses of Parliament. Between us and there is the Parliament Square, where the peace camp was, the tented protests. Just behind me in the other direction, down this side, you go down past New Scotland Yard, which is just down here on the right hand side, and Victoria Station. See, I think, in the Methodist Central Hall, where many protest meetings are held, and the Queen Elizabeth II Conference Centre. Inside the Conference Centre today, there is another AGM with another mining company. London is a major place for AGMs for companies to do with mining. Lots of them are based in the 1 square mile of the City of London. And yesterday I came down, but missed the main press area of the protest. But today we're here on time, and hoping we can get a little interaction with some of the delegates going in and out of the AGM and or conference. But they seem to be busy or missing. How's the broadcast sounding and looking at the moment, please, guys? Just give me a shout back. Even if you don't want to use the chat function on the app, please feel free to text me if you have the details. Who would be a good person to speak to? I'm streaming at the moment.
Oh, great.
On behalf of Occupy.
Oh, cool.
And trying to see who would like to speak about mainly today, but also yesterday's stuff that I missed.
Yeah, I suppose. Tom. Yeah. Hello. So, what would you like me to talk about?
Right,
What do
why
you
is
wanna
the
know?
protest and/or demonstration and/or information dissemination happening today?
Well, I mean, we're all here in solidarity with miners from South Africa and Colombia. In Colombia, there's a massive coal mine called the Cerrejón mine, which is the biggest coal mine in Latin America, and we're opposing it for a number of reasons. First of all, the miners there and the communities there. Look, dozens of communities have been sort of evicted from their homes without compensation since 1986, and the mine continues to expand. They're exporting 32 million tons of coal every year, which is all going into, it's all being exported to countries like the UK. None of that coal is staying within the country for the benefit of local communities, and people's rights are just being trodden on. Workers' rights, the miners who work in that mine in Cerrejón are getting almost no benefits, minimal wages. They're being subject to repression. Often, some of their activists are even getting killed and murdered. So we're here basically to demand that Anglo American, who have a big stake in the mine in Cerrejón in Colombia, and run the mines in South Africa, where miners are dying of silicosis as a result of their neglect. We're basically demanding justice for these miners, and we're standing here in solidarity with communities who've become victims of the greed of Anglo American.
Excellent. I know of 2 or 3 other AGMs for mining companies that are happening in London at the same point. Would you say that London's a hotbed of mining companies?
Oh, definitely.
Or do they just like having trendy AGMs?
No, definitely. I mean, some of the biggest mining companies in the world are all based in the UK. I mean, you've got Rio Tinto, whose AGM was yesterday. They're involved in dozens of devastating coal projects around the world. You've got Xstrata, who are now merging with Glencore, who are obviously sort of massive global players. And there's Anglo American, who we're protesting against today. So
But then
these
there's
companies,
also
BHP
Lonmin.
Billiton, there's BHP Billiton as well. They're also one of the major
And
players.
Lonmin and
Yeah, I mean, London is essentially a centre, not just for the mining companies themselves, but interestingly for the major banks and investment funds who are actually allowing these companies to get away with what they're getting away with. I mean, we can stand here, we can protest, and we can try and fight Anglo American and companies like them as much as we want, but we know they're never going to change. There's no point asking them to behave in a better way, because they exist to pollute, they exist to extract resources from developing countries and keep people in poverty. What we really must be doing is we must be targeting banks like HSBC and Barclays, and targeting pension funds and insurance companies like Aviva and Prudential, Legal & General, BlackRock, who are pumping billions of pounds. I mean, BlackRock alone has invested £7 billion into just 3 mining companies. So these banks and investors are actually as culpable for the human rights violations perpetrated by these mining companies as the mining companies themselves. So
but a lot of people.
The world. Oh, sorry, my hat's just gone there.
No worries.
Never mind, leave it now. The World Development Movement. We've got a campaign called the Carbon Capital Campaign. So we basically stand for exposing the role of the banks and investment companies and the City of London as a whole, and their role in bankrolling some of these companies.
A lot of people might think that just because some of the financial institutions are involved, it's maybe just like giving a loan to the mining companies, that the miners are then being exploited. But bringing banking back into it, the crisis that happened in America with the housing, 3/4 of all the mortgages in America were owned by one tiny British bank, Northern Rock.
Yeah.
So British banking can have a fundamental, massive control over troubles all around the world.
Yeah.
It's just neo-capitalism.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, in terms of mining, because mining is such a London-centred activity, most of the investors in the big mining companies like Anglo American are big banks and big UK pension funds. So if you've got a pension with Legal & General, you are indirectly, your money is being used to plough billions and billions of pounds into companies like Anglo American. So I mean, what needs to happen is that we know that even the banks aren't going to change. They don't care about the lives of people in the global south. They don't care about kind of the poorer sections of even our society. So what we need to do is we need to be putting government for for regulation. We need to be considering ways in which we can control the City of London, which is completely out of control, and we need to be doing for a lot of other reasons as well, to make sure that our financial institutions are not bankrolling companies like Anglo American, are not bankrolling climate change, which is becoming ever more dangerous and more real by the day. So that's what our campaign at the World Development Movement is trying to achieve, and it's a big task, it's a difficult task, but we believe that we need to be forcing government to regulate, because neither the banks nor these companies are actually going to change their ways of their own free will.
I'm hoping you guys have bought some shares in Anglo American so you can go into the AGM.
Yeah, that's a classic tactic, I think, for most campaigning organisations, because there's no other way to get our voices heard and to get the voices of the communities who are affected by Anglo American's activities heard. So, I mean, sometimes you can buy one share, which is for £5 or something. So we're not really, I suppose theoretically, you know, we're investors, but I think in practice we're doing it for activism reasons, and it's only, you know, it's a very small amount of money. So, I mean, that's
it
the
makes
way in which
total sense.
It makes every bit of sense. So
not only would you vote against what they want to do, perhaps,
well, I
but
mean, the vote against doesn't make any difference.
one share, but it's still a nominal one person against it.
Yes, I mean, I think if people do want to invest in one share for 50p and get access to AGMs and cause problems, then I would only encourage that.
But that one share at 50 pence, you get copies of all of the company accounts, you get copies of everything.
It's very good value.
It's cheaper than doing a data protection request.
Yeah, true. I think companies are starting to get
and
wise.
you get free tea and coffee inside.
I think there may be some companies do impose sort of minimum amount of shares you have to be able to attend. But in general, I think it's a tactic that's become kind of a mainstream tactic for activists, and I think the more people do it, the more people in AGMs causing Anglo-American trouble, I think the better.
Cool.
Yeah.
How do you see the future in 5 years, 10 years time or so?
Oh, I don't even know what's going to happen next week. 10 years time. Well, I mean, I hope in 5 or 10 years time we'll have successfully defeated the sort of neoliberal narrative and defeated and forced through regulation that moves the centre of our economy away from financial services and away from sort of over dependence on the City of London, and move to a situation where we are moving towards a renewable and genuinely green economy. And a lot of the things that people talk about when we talk about corporate spokespeople talk about the green economy is actually quite negative. So I mean, we hope for a green economy that actually serves the interests of the poor and the interests of the people rather than the interests of the big corporations. But that's more of a hope. I can't really make any realistic predictions of what's going to happen in 5 or 10 years time, because I just simply don't know.
I'm focusing in part on yourself and the large banner behind you, because it speaks about gold miners, and I just got a notification on the way here that because there was a small dip, like 5% in the gold price on Friday, today the Swiss banks have just bought 1,000 tons of gold to try and stabilise the price and keep it up.
Surprised. I mean, gold prices usually go up, most commodity prices, but gold especially is obviously a safe haven for investments during economic hard times.
A lot of people say it's overpriced already, like property in Britain.
Yeah, it's gone up through the roof over the last decade or so. I mean, again, it's all part of the same, game that's played. It's all about speculation, especially commodity speculation, which is another campaign which the World Development Movement is very involved in. I mean, we've campaigned against food commodity speculation. It's one thing to speculate on the price of gold, which no one can eat gold.
Totally.
Speculation on wheat futures and sort of the price of maize and sort of key staple food crops has actually caused instability in the prices of food to the extent that people are actually going hungry as a result of the activities of a few city boys in London. So I think that that's another scandal which we've been sort of working hard to fight at WDM. But yeah, I mean it's all part of the same sort of economic system, which I think is it's the evidence is very strong that it's completely broken.
If you have any websites or contact details that people might want to look up further information of yourselves, feel free to shout it.
Yeah. I mean, please visit our website at www.wdm.org.uk and have a look at our Carbon Capital campaign, which is our new campaign focused against the banks and against the financial institutions placed in the City of London to force them to force government, I suppose, more to the point, to regulate them, to move investment away from dirty fossil fuels, away from energy projects in the global south, which are causing evictions of thousands, millions of people around the world. So please do visit our website and have a look at that, and also have a look at our food speculation campaign, which is about campaigning for regulation, especially at EU level, to impose limits on the market participation of speculators in food commodities in general.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Cheers.
No. Great. That was a bit long-winded.
No. It's good information.
So, you're from Occupy, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
In parts, Occupy,
Right.
yeah.
Any particular section of Occupy, or just Occupy in general? Any particular committee you're part of Occupy, or just in
Well,
general?
I'm still streaming, but I don't mind people knowing.
Okay, yeah.
My background in Occupy is quite simple. I used to be a suit. I got brought up internationally myself. My father worked in oil. When I came back to Britain, the qualifications I had were international qualifications. Universities here ignored them. All the American ones were screaming to have me. If I went to university in Europe, no worries. But coming back to Britain, nobody used those qualifications. I'd already had computer skills from living abroad, just as computers were starting off here. So I didn't need to go to university anyway, so I just went straight into the work stream. Worked in oil IT, saw myself as being one of the bad guys. Got involved with Occupy right at the beginning, through some very, very good close friends. And when I arrived at Occupy, I was just there to learn. I knew things were fucked up, I just didn't know in what ways I was causing it and other people were causing it. I just knew things were wrong. So I took a stance of learning instead of speaking very often, and ended up doing live stream where I can come to things like this and learn and help other people see the information and hear things, testimonies like what you just said.
Sounds good.
But yeah, there's a couple of other branches of other things I get involved in. But this is the stuff for this afternoon.
Okay. Alright, well that's nice to hear. Interesting. Sounds
Basking the glow of knowing that everybody really appreciates
it's good. Anyway, I'll let you talk to some other people as well.
Thanks very much. Cheers. I do rather enjoy some of the architecture around central London, but how can you have very, very pretty buildings like these, like this, like Parliament, like this, and the funny little pretty corners and then this? Does it make sense? From above, this building looks like a pyramid. I wonder why anybody would want an Egyptian pyramid in the centre of London. This building from above looks dead like a pyramid. It does. It's a pyramid. I wonder why they would have a pyramid in central London. So the AGM has already started inside, yeah?
So I understand.
I'm hoping to get some of the delegates.
How do I point people to it?
We tagged you on Twitter.
Oh, you did? The
Apparently.
London Mining
Your group. Let me
Yeah.
see. Let me see. Here, speak to Wilby. It's just ringing just now.
Why am I ringing him?
So you can get him to tell you how to find it. I can do it on here.
I'm with Chris. Good, thanks. And just a quick one. How do I follow Did you tag us in it? At London Mining. Perfect. Okay. See you later. Where is it?
So, how do people follow you?
Yes, London Mining Network. Twitter.
And on Twitter at London Mining.
That's it, at London Mining.
Cool.
Thank you.
But guys, please hit the share button and tag London Mining and any other companies and AGMs at the moment you'd like to be tagged on it.
Last one for the week.
Okay. And this is Anglo American.
Anglo American.
Yesterday was Rio Tinto.
And Barra. Sadly, they sort of went without too much attention, but we'll get to them next
We
week.
can give them attention right now.
Yeah, we can. Barrett Gold, Africa Barrett Gold.
Right, tell me
wonderful
about.
stuff in Tanzania and Chile, and sadly.
Tell me more. Come on. Diddums.
No, I
Come on.
really don't.
Come on.
I really don't. Have you interviewed Richard yet?
Which one's Richard?
He's our wonderful leader at the London Mining Network.
The guy with the blue jacket.
Yeah.
I haven't yet.
I was about to say with a yellow hat, but we've all got those.
No.
Okay, I'm going to ask Richard to say.
I did have a wonderful chat with one of your guys.
Yeah.
That I can't see right now. This guy here. An amazing little chat.
Excellent. Let me see if Richard
Sure.
can say.
Hey. You appear to have some press on the left-hand side also, if you wish to utilize the opportunity. You've got some banners behind you for talking. Straight down ahead of you here.
No, that was just a photo. But this afternoon,
He's got a microphone, he's speaking at a camera. Get a couple of banners behind him. The guy in the silver suit, just here. But because he hasn't got a cameraman with him, he's just doing it himself.
Yeah.
You can take any banners, you could
absolutely.
do everything and anything you want behind him, and he won't know. And if he's broadcasting live, jump on.
Get behind him.
Sure. I love doing guerrilla journalism.
Good, isn't it? Husk. Is that what you said there?
you best be closer to the microphone.
Yes.
They're live streaming.
Okay.
And we've tagged London Mining Network.
Okay.
Feel free to join in if you
Yeah,
wish.
feel free.
And you.
It's been like-
Stop being shy.
Have you interviewed Alexandra?
Not yet.
Well, do me first because I've got to go into the meeting.
Okay,
Yes.
please.
Okay.
Excellent.
So what am I going to talk about?
Why are we here?
About why we're here.
Yes.
Well, we are here going to the Anglo-American AGM because Anglo-American's one of the biggest mining companies in the world. It's based here in London and it's doing all sorts of damage all around the world. The issues that we in our network are going to be talking about in there today particularly are the Sericon mine in Colombia, where numerous agricultural communities have been and are being forced off their land for expansion of this enormous open cast coal mine, and then also the plight of workers in South Africa, mine workers from gold mines who are dying of silicosis because of Anglo-American's failure in the past to suppress dust levels sufficiently. We know there's also going to be friends in there from Alaska who are objecting to Anglo-American's plans to open a huge open cast copper mine called the Pebble Mine near Salmon Bay, which would affect water quality and harm traditional and commercial salmon fishery. And there may be others in there, but those are the issues that we're particularly concerned about. There's all sorts of other issues that we might mention and haven't got time to, like what the company's doing in Brazil, its Anglo-American platinum operations in Limpopo province in South Africa, its coal operations in Australia, all sorts of concerns about its record.
Excellent. So do you have proxy votes, etc.?
Yes, several of us have a handful of shares and we can use those shares to proxy other people to come into the meeting with us.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. It's a shame we can't go in and live stream.
Yes, maybe another time. Well, now Alexandra here, she's here because of yesterday's Rio Tinto AGM.
Excellent.
But you might want to talk to her about what's going on in Michigan.
Sure. I came down yesterday for the Rio Tinto, but I got down too early before you guys, and I needed to do some postal stuff, so I went up to the Trafalgar Square post office. By the time I got back down again, it finished.
Yeah, we had to move fast. I traveled here from Michigan in the United States to represent thousands of local citizens who oppose the mine that Rio Tinto is building in our community. Rio Tinto is constructing a sulfide mine directly underneath sacred land and forcing native peoples to go through the mine gates in order to be on this land. It's a sulfide mine, which is very risky. This is being constructed right next to Lake Superior and is part of major freshwater watersheds which comprise of more than 20% of the entire world's fresh water. And there is no precedent at this point for a sulfide mine that does not leak. In fact, when I get back into the United States in just a few days, I'm going to immediately drive 7 hours to go to Chicago to see Rio Tinto in court because they are fighting a Clean Water Act conviction, which is a piece of federal legislation regarding one of their Wisconsin mines that has been leaking for years, and it's a very serious concern to people of the community. So I participated in the annual general meeting yesterday to voice our concerns on a number of issues ranging from the environmental issues, the indigenous rights issues, our community health issues, and the chairman and the board were very dismissive of our concerns, and which we expect, as they've been dismissive of our concerns for nearly 10 years now as the struggle has continued.
I have a theory when it comes to the pollution of the water, whether in lakes or in the aquifers under the land. That might be a little out there, but I don't think it's really too far out there, because with things like fracking happening at the moment, and apparently we're past peak oil, so we've not got very much oil left in the land. But coming from an oil industry background myself, I know there's tons of oil, we're never going to run out. So that's the downfall to my theory. But the companies like British Petroleum that make oodles of money on an annual basis post very, very little profits, because they're spending all of their money buying every green patent that appears anywhere in the world. And they're locking these green patents away in drawers, stopping people having access to them.
Oh, sorry, green what?
Patents. Copyright patents
Oh, I see.
to stop people exploiting green energy. They're just harvesting all the plans and locking them away in a drawer.
Oh,
But if they own these patents and aren't using them, keeping the price of oil up and the demand for oil up, that's one thing. But if oil did run out, or if it was stopped, if there was a social change in the world and people stopped using oil, which is more likely than it running out, with all the land that they own for gas stations, or the patents they have for green, including engines that can run on water, splitting the hydrogen and oxygen, if they pollute the groundwater, people can't top up their hydrogen-oxygen powered car from a river or a tap because the water is going to be polluted. So the petrol stations start selling pure water for cars.
well, I don't know. I mean, elaborate things have happened in the past for sure. That's outside of my knowledge base.
I did say it's a little out there. But you have to wonder about why a company that has patents for powered engines that run on water, why don't they allow people to use that patent? Why don't they want to make money from that patent right now? And why are they part to consortiums that are polluting the water and the land? So how are you enjoying your trip to Britain?
Very, very well. It's really terrific. This is my first time leaving the continent.
Cool.
So.
I hope it's not just a flash in the pan. I hope you're not just here for a couple of days and jumping back again.
Well, I leave on Sunday because I'm going to Chicago for the court case with Rio Tinto to see what they're up to. But no, we'll be able to do a little bit of sightseeing. But mostly we've been, in addition to speaking out at the AGM yesterday, we've met with other people on these issues, and there was I participated in a panel talk at Amnesty International on Monday with other dissident shareholders from around the world, talking about the various plights of our communities.
How did your talking inside at the AGM yesterday for Rio Tinto, how well received do you think it was by not just the people in the panels, but the other shareholders?
Certainly many shareholders of Rio Tinto stock are very good-hearted people who just are not aware of what is truly going on in our community, which is one of the reasons why we participate in this global project. We don't feel that the company accurately portrays what's happening around Eagle Mine to its shareholders. Other people certainly are, it's really far removed, and who knows, but I think that it's a really good outreach opportunity for us to talk to people that maybe otherwise would not be familiar with our issues.
It's a good thing about things like this, especially in busy areas around London like this. And the international aspects of all the tourists.
Right, yeah.
You can always disseminate to everybody. Thank you very much.
Yeah, have you talked with Roger Featherstone of Arizona?
Which one's he?
He's wearing the white cap.
I haven't as yet.
You should talk to him about, he's dealing with a really interesting issue in Arizona.
This is great. Every person I speak to or interview, straight away, they're pimping me to somebody else. I like this. It's got fluidity.
Great.
That guy, David Thorne, the other way to do it is article
What was his name?
Roger Featherstone.
Roger Featherstone. Thank you.
I wanted to see some Stonehenge, some stone circles that actually maybe had some power left, and I'm afraid that Stonehenge is a little bit of a tourist trap.
Can I borrow you for a few moments? I understand. Your name's Roger, yeah?
Yes.
I understand you've come across from the States for the stuff that's happening today, particularly.
Yeah.
What would you like to say about Anglo American and the other mining companies? We're streaming live, so
Yeah.
I'm part to the Occupy movement, and streamed live straight over the internet. Anything you want to say, any websites you want to mention, everything and anything.
Yeah. Well, it's I mean, in general, I mean, there's a right way and a wrong way to mine, and there's the right places and the wrong places to mine. And most of these companies don't know either of those two facts. So you get these companies that have horrible track records that aren't learning from their mistakes, and they're not only trashing the environment, they're trashing the peoples that were there first and depend on clean water and clean air to for their livelihoods, and these companies are screwing all that up. So, our particular issue in Arizona is more with Rio Tinto. So we attended the annual general meeting yesterday.
Excellent.
And if you want to get more information about the Arizona issues, our website is www.azminingreform.org.
So azminingreform.org.
Right, or I guess as they would say it over here, alphazminingreform.org.
No worries. Is that for Arizona, obviously?
Yeah.
So how well received were you guys in the AGM for Rio Tinto yesterday? You get the chance to speak, you get the chance to vote.
Yeah, they spent most of the meeting ignoring us, and then at the very end they called on me, and I got a chance to ask the question, which of course the chairman and the CEO gave the party line, the talking points. But afterwards, a couple of the shareholders came up and were very interested. So that was more my goal than talking to the big guys anyhow.
Yeah.
So it went well.
That's it. You get the chance to engage with semi-important people.
Right.
But then you also get the chance to engage with the really important people, the standard shareholders.
Right.
And inform them and educate them.
Right. Plus, in being here, we had a chance to do some other meetings and just kind of educate people in general. So it all kind of folds together.
Cool. Whilst you're here, I would recommend you have a walk around up in the 1 square mile, the city, as it's referred to, our banking district.
Right.
Well, I say our, it's not even part of Britain. It's like the Vatican.
Right.
It's an independent country.
Right.
But check your medical insurance to make sure that you're covered to be in the city. You will feel ill walking around that place. I guarantee it. Except next to St. Paul's Cathedral. It's a beautiful place and you should visit there.
Yeah.
But that cathedral is there because that's a centre of healing.
Yeah.
The whole rest of the city, you'll just feel ill.
Right.
Cool.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Cheers. Breaking down already?
Yeah, a couple of us got to go back to work.
Cool. Should take it inside and dangle it off the balconies.
It's back to front.
So you're going to go back in here today?
No, games.
I thought you wanted to talk yesterday.
No.
Oh, shame. Talking in AGMs is fun.
I'm very good at public speaking.
It's funny how many people I've met in Occupy that say I'm not very good at public speaking, and as soon as they start speaking, they're the most perfect people for it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can imagine.
Guys, I'm going to switch off just for a few moments. If anything else happens, I'll be right on. Please watch out for the hashtags.